it has all the drama, but still so fun for you just to be able to drive. I mean, it's fun. Okay guys, and welcome back to another video. And interestingly, of course, this is the season finale of what was, I think, aptly named the AnishVin Life. And what a better way to end it than what I'm about to show you. But I think kind of where it all started as well, right? Just across the river there, moving into the office, the whole process. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching the video so far. Thanks to everybody as well who's been liking the videos. Before you see what's next to me here as well, I think you want to like this video as well. So make sure to subscribe, because it's only going to be a short break before going into season 2. As you're going to see, there's a lot of stuff coming out from when I'm in Dubai, in Kenya, and all of those things. But without further ado, I wanted to introduce you to something that's next to me. But before I do that, I want to say a big thank you as well to HRO and Lamborghini. Now, you've seen in previous videos that, of course, I've gone along to a golf day that they've organized, and a bunch of other things as well. A massive shout out to, of course, Curran, who is at Lamborghini Hatfield, who you're going to see in the videos as well. And of course, big boss Rue, thank you so much for this as well. Really appreciate it. But I exclusively have the keys somewhere. We're going to lose them. That's right. The keys again. It's Lambo again back on the AnishVin channel. So let's talk about this. I mean, is this something to order? Is this something that maybe we should get? Here it is. Check it out. This is the Lamborghini Huracan STO. Now, I think that looks pretty incredible. We're going to do a proper look around the car, but let's start off right from the top and look at this spec here. So in order to talk you through a little bit more about the spec about this car, what's special about the STO, difference between, of course, the Performante that I used to own, I'm going to bring in Curran from Lamborghini Hatfield. Curran, step in. Thanks very much. Thanks for bringing the car down.
Nice to meet you.
Really appreciate it. I've had a little quick drive in it. It's insane. It's really loud. Talk to me a little bit about the spec on this car. So, matte finish paint here? Or?
So this car here is finished in matte Grigio Titans, and it's been fully PPF'd over the whole car. With something like this, you would need to PPF it.
Yeah.
It's just because of the cost of the colour options on this car. There's only 4 standard colours. Anything past that point is chargeable.
Okay.
Now, carbon fibre on this, it doesn't have the full exterior carbon pack. The reason for that is there are restrictions on what dealers can have for cars that are coming through.
Okay.
If you've ordered one as a customer, they will then put all the other options on there. So on this, you've got the standard carbon around the fins here.
Yep.
Around the front here, which says STO.
Okay.
You can have carbon down here on the lower lips.
Okay.
And then if you come around to the back here,
okay,
we have spec this with the rear carbon packs. You've got the scoop fin down the side here.
Yeah.
And then on the rear wing, and around the back, it's just got the standard matte black finish, which is similar to what you would get on a Performante if you don't spec it with a style pack.
Okay, fine. Which I think is a good option on this as well, because given the fact that it's this greyish colour, that the carbon fibre, unless you get close, really stands out, but otherwise it kind of like blends in.
Yeah,
nice.
Carbon on this does stand out a lot more. If you go for it on a darker colour like a black, it blends in a bit too much. You don't really see the true design on it. Now, you can have all of this in contrast colours. Okay. We haven't done that. The reason for that was there were slight restrictions on cars that were coming through initially from factory if you do have contrast colour packs on them. And then black tailpipes, those are standard. We've gone for the 20-inch matte black Heck wheels. Okay. The yellow calipers, which contrast nicely with the yellow inside as well. Okay. Now, your other things on the outside, which again, for a car like this, that's worth having for resale, things like your rear camera. Yeah. Just because when you look at the rear mirror, you find it's a lot more restricted. You can't really see too well. And then we've got things on this one like front suspension lifter. Again, on a car like this, especially when you see the front, you see the Cafango front opening up. Yeah.
I mean, for me, that was important. So I've just driven down a road where there's obviously some bumps in the road. And for me, definitely you need that on this car. I mean, these are like really important specs. I think as well with the outside as well, like just from the styling perspective of what we're seeing from the STO in comparison to the Performante. So I know firsthand, I had a Performante. Yeah. Love the car. For those who don't know, it was my favorite of all the cars I ever had. And honestly, that Performante, the amount of times I tried to record the first video of first driving it, that just ended up being like, you know what, screw this, let's just drive the car because it's so much fun.
That was the best car you've had until this.
That's the best car until this?
Yeah,
there we go. Still a salesman in it.
The thing you have to remember is this car doesn't replace the Performante.
Yes, it doesn't.
I think a lot of people have the perception that this is the successor to the Performante. It's not. This is the track car, DNA taken and put into a road going car as close as possible to a track car. Yeah. The nice thing about this, there are other cars on the market these days that are track cars, but this is the only naturally aspirated option that's available at the minute. With manufacturers moving hybrid and electric, this is kind of the dying breed.
And we saw that firsthand at Goodwood. So when at Goodwood Festival of Speed, of course, you would have seen that in the previous video, that the cars just didn't have any noise at all. But when Lambo turned up, and of course this went up the hill, you can hear it for miles.
Yeah.
Now we'll get into something interesting when we jump in the car for a little bit of a drive because of how that noise actually comes into play in comparison to some of the other cars. But when it does,
it's a lot more louder.
Has this got any sort of race exhaust or anything on it right now?
No, this is a standard exhaust fitted to the STO.
Standard?
This is standard exhaust.
Okay.
There isn't an option on this car yet, whether they might do in the future. I don't think you need one, to be honest with you. A race exhaust fitted. This is a standard exhaust.
Okay, fine. All right, so let's do this now. Let's look at some of the interior options. Okay, so now, Karim, we're in the inside of the car, right? I'm seeing a lot of Alcantara and at the same time, a lot of carbon, especially the full carbon door panels. Is this standard? Carbon
door panels are standard.
Okay.
Wherever you see carbon aside from that, so around these air vents, down here on the tunnel that's running up the side, it's all optional to have.
Okay.
Now you can have a carbon pad that's a little bit more exposed than this. That would include carbon floor mats, carbon tub down the bottom. That is an upgrade to have. This car doesn't have it.
Okay.
Leather isn't an option in these cars. It's all Alcantara. It's designed to save as much weight as possible.
Like a race car would be, yeah.
Like a race car. Again, in this, some new options. You don't have down here your cup holders. It's not an option in this.
Of course.
But on here, you can see when you go into vehicle and you go into LDVI, you've got all your brake temperatures because this is fitted with the new CCMR brakes. So they're a lot more adapted. You can see all your technology on here. So brake temperatures. This has got rear wheel steering as well. It's the first time Lamborghini have done it on a rear wheel drive car. So it will show you the degrees that the rear wheels are facing as well when you're driving around at low speeds.
Okay, fine. And then I believe as well, just touching on that, because you mentioned that it is rear wheel drive, that is actually saving weight on the car, right?
Yeah, over a 4-wheel drive platform, the rear wheel drive system
saving the weight. Yeah, and like I said on the screen here as well, you can see everything with regards, because on the previous, like on the Performante, you could see a little bit about brakes, but not like in the detail that you're seeing.
Not as much detail as this. And again, this infotainment system's taken over from the Evo.
Yeah.
So they've kind of made this the ultimate car for the Huracan model range, so to speak. Okay. So everything on here, it's all touchscreen.
Yeah.
You've got your new updated sat nav inside here. This one's been fitted with smartphone connectivity. So if you plug your phone in here and you click into phone apps, it will then bring up all your Apple CarPlay.
Okay, fine.
Android Auto, it will do all of that. Again, this car's also fitted with telemetry.
So for those who don't know, track telemetry is basically there's cameras all over the car. You said there's one here. Yeah. I saw there's one somewhere.
There's one here as well. So if you take it on track, it will record what you're looking at the front. It will record your interior cabin view, and then you can watch it back on your phone.
So I actually had that, I think, in my McLaren 720S, I think it was as well. So that track telemetry thing, which is pretty cool because you can just plug in like a USB or something like that, and then it just records it onto that as well. Or you said onto the app?
Onto the app, Unicrap.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's quite cool. Well. Interior spec here, so obviously you've gone for this yellow and black contrast with these seats. Now, what are the options in terms of seats? Because Performante, there were race seats, comfort seats, what's the options here?
So you've only got two options. You've got the standard seat, which would be your Performante seat, your carbon fibre one-piece seat. This is your upgraded sport seat.
Okay.
So this has your adjustment to go forward and backwards. It's got a lever on the back so you can tilt your back support forward and backwards, and you've got a little handle on the side so you can raise and lower the seat as well.
So I like this because this is, to me, being in it, is almost as comfortable as a comfort seat, but still feels racy because it's still got that, balance. So.
It's got that balance. So in a car like this where you get thrown around a bit more on the road, it keeps you a little bit more upright.
Yeah.
Now, it looks a little bit uncomfortable when you look at it on face value in comparison to your electric seat you would get in an Evo. Yeah. But when you're in the car and the amount of force it's thrown around on the road, it keeps you very upright.
Yeah, and I can say as well, it is a lot more comfortable than the race seats. I mean, there's actually padding on here.
There's a lot. You can do a long journey in this.
Yeah,
especially when you're driving around Windsor. I'm sure you'll be comfortable.
Yeah, driving around Windsor. You keep getting into that, right? As if like going to buy one. I don't know. I think this is the stage that we should go to into the comments, right? I think the last time
the video gets 2 likes, Anish will buy one.
Last time you said in the last video like 500,000. So
I'll be a bit more realistic. 10 likes.
If this video gets to 10,000 likes, then I'll buy the car.
I'm just going to keep making accounts and making likes.
You're just going to keep doing it, right? Okay,
I'm going to keep making it.
I think the interior, to be honest with you, it still feels similar enough to transition from the Performante into this so that you can, I mean, I jumped into it, you didn't have to tell me anything. I just started driving it, everything was cool. Apart from little things here, to me it was almost like I was picking up where I left off.
Yeah, this is a lot more, like you say, it takes on from the Evo, from the Performante, from the first generation Huracan. It's enhanced the experience. When you jump into something like this, and then you drive into a Performante and driving back to back, you do see a real difference in the two cars.
So the last thing I want to touch on before we take the car for a drive, you hear the noise and everything about this car, is talk to me about the different modes. So you've got STO Trofeo and Piaggio. In comparison to what you'd have like Strada, Corsa, etc. So what are these different modes?
These different modes are really designed to take, again, that emphasis of track driving and putting it onto the road. So your car will always start in STO mode, which is your equivalent of your daily driving.
Fine.
Again, it's an auto, so it will automatically do your gear shifts for you, and it's a lot more of a comfortable, quieter drive.
Yeah.
You shift it down to Trofeo, it's the equivalent of driving in Corsa.
Okay.
It's just a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Again, when you're in that, it's manual driving, it's really yourself on the car. And then Piaggio is if you're driving and it's raining, or if it's a damp road or it's a little bit more wet, it gives you the top end performance, comfort, grip. So it's a little bit more stable in wet conditions. Okay,
and we're obviously taking this out on the road, given the fact it's a race car.
Yeah.
What are the options when it comes to things like wheels on this car? So we've got, what kind of wheels do they come standard with it? Do you change it up? I mean,
well, these wheels on this car at the minute are the standard wheels, but we've upgraded them so they're in matte black.
Okay, fine.
There is magnesium wheels. They're lighter in weight to have. They're a little bit more costly as well. A few customers have gone from it enhances the look of the car from the outside.
Okay.
Again, with those wheels, they do look very different. So when you go onto the configurator and you play around with it, you can see they're only in one color. It's like a goldy bronze finish on those as well.
Okay, cool. And last question, then tires on this.
Yeah.
What are they running on these?
We've changed the tyres on this car. We've changed these to a little bit more road capable tyres.
Okay.
Only for the fact that this is on the road, people will come and drive it.
Yeah.
But you can get this spec'd with race tyres.
Okay.
Which again, it gives you a little bit more of a slick drive in the car. It makes it feel a little bit more dynamic when it comes to feeling what a true race car will transition to on the road.
Fine. Okay, so we're going to switch it on. We're going to get a start up. Give it a little bit of a res. We're not going to go too crazy on it because I can see it's not fully running yet. So obviously these cars still need a little bit of time to run in. So what we'll do is we'll switch it on. We're going to push it a little bit, take it out on the roads within obviously legal reasons. Don't worry. Yeah. All below 60 miles an hour in the zones. But yeah, we're going to push it a little bit and see what it's like to drive. So we're in the car now and we are driving, I'd say, basically for the first time. And to me, this car is pretty cool. Now, the one thing that I noticed straight away, I'm gonna get the negative out of the way. So one negative is the fact that this car needs to go basically above 3,000 or 4,000 revs before it really opens up. That's kind of nice because it doesn't mean that you can be a complete asbo and just drive this car around making a bunch of noise, but it is really cool. Now we're about to go through a tunnel, so I'm gonna keep quiet for a second and let's just hear how this car sounds through this tunnel. I mean, when I say loud, I mean really loud. And remember, it's a little bit bumpy because we are in that mode, but oh my God, is it loud. Visibility, first of all, let's get the boring stuff out of the way, pretty crap. But what do you expect? It's a Lambo. It's going to be pretty crap. When you're looking out the back there, you can just kind of see the car behind through the slats, but otherwise visibility is really good. You've still got that kind of ease of driving feel that you had with the Performante, which I know a lot of people didn't like simply because they thought, oh, it's a Lamborghini, it should be all of this. But it has all the drama, but still so fun for you just to be able to drive. So we're going to take it on a little bit more of a country road, get out of the town area of Windsor, put the foot down and just see, but the performance so far is incredible. I love everything, the seating position, where everything is, steering wheel, like the cockpit, it's fantastic. It's a really nice car. Don't get me wrong, have I been in cars recently, supercars and stuff? Yeah, and I'm around them kind of all the time, but this still gives you that same feeling, that feeling that's you should get from a supercar. And with these newer cars now, they just don't seem to have that feeling. And you know what? Just went over a bump, didn't even put the lift up, completely fine. I mean, it's fun. I don't even want to talk to the camera. We're just going to hear some noise in the car, drive it for some fun. Oh, I love that. Just when that fuel like drips into the back of the exhaust and it just spits it. I'd love to check out afterwards as well, like the Performante, whether you get that kind of glow in there as well. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of speechless actually. If anybody's thinking about getting this car, which now after driving it for a little bit, I kind of am, there's something different about it. Like Curran said, do not compare this to a Performante. Don't compare this to a Performante. It is completely different. Oh, I do love it. I do love it. How do I describe the sound apart from the fact that whatever they wanted to achieve, they have definitely achieved it. It is the exact sound of what you'd expect from a race car. And I'm going to be honest, I think it sounds even better than the Performante. Whether it is much different or not, I don't know, but it definitely sounds better. Right, we're going open road driving now onto these country roads. Let's just see how it handles a little bit, because remember, this is rear wheel drive. It's got that rear wheel steer as well, but rear wheel drive, which means, is it going to really hold those corners? I think it might, because that wing is going to help out just a little bit. Look, you can go on YouTube and you can watch some really serious reviews about this car. That's never what I've ever been about. I'm trying to get across to you how much fun it is to drive these cars. What are the actual emotions you feel? Not about what's the differential doing, how much torque is being produced at these levels, etc. Let me just say something. This thing goes. It absolutely goes. But remember, owning a supercar is not just about the simple, how fast does the car go anymore? The cars are going so quickly nowadays that 0.4 seconds, 0.2 seconds apparently makes such a big difference if you get the Nürburgring lap time. To me, supercars have always been about that driving feel, the feel that you get when you get in the car, when you see it for the first time outside of the window, when people come and talk to you about the car. And let me just say something, we had this car parked up for a very short period of time and we had to move it because it was so much attention. And that's what Lamborghini does. It brings out that feeling, and let me tell you, that translates into when you drive the car. I'm sometimes not a fan of Lamborghini just because of sometimes who some of the customers may be, but let me say something, when it comes to the cars, they're fantastic. I almost don't care if there will be a little bit of a problem with this car. I don't care if something goes a little bit wrong, because it gives you everything else that you ever wanted. So, I mean, it's a massive seal of approval for me. I'm gonna enjoy driving this car. Let's get some cool shots, and yeah, forget that little soppy moment about the car, and let's enjoy. Oh, it's good fun. It really is good fun. I don't think the camera's too shaky. I think it's pretty good, right? I'm just having fun. And that is a wrap, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing me driving the car, my honest opinions of it. You know, I'm not going to really hold back on it. It's not the fact that this is anything that I know you see other car YouTubers do in terms of paid content or branded in any way whatsoever. This is just a really nice couple of people at a dealership just saying, hey Anish, do you want to kind of drive this car? And honestly, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Hopefully some of the rolling shots that you've seen that Tabir's got have been pretty incredible. I want to say a massive thanks to Tabir as well for doing some incredible recording for the first season. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I know it's been just a sneak peek. Some have been some shorter videos, some have been some longer videos, but there is so much more and fun stuff still to come, because obviously in season 2 you're going to see Kenya, you're going to see Dubai. Let me just tease this. I'm skydiving on my birthday, and a friend out there has an SF90, Rolls-Royce Wraith, McLaren 765 LT, and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm just not going to go into it. You've definitely got to stay tuned for season 2. So make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Hit the like a bunch of times. I think we said 10,000 likes or something before I end up. Oh, Kuran's behind the camera and he's saying something like,
if the video gets 2 likes, Anish will buy one. 2, okay, fine. So there's 2 likes, and apparently I'm buying this car. But a massive thanks to Kuran as well for bringing the car for me to drive. And you're going to see some more cool stuff as well. But thanks everybody who's been tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, do all the other bits. And I'll see you in season 2.